In Year 5, we really emphasise the fact that they are now in upper key stage 2. So they should be setting the example for the rest of the children in the school, especially children that are younger than them. They should be role models in their behaviour, and they should be beginning to take more responsibility for their learning and their actions, both at home and at school, especially in terms of homework, to prepare for the greater demand of homework in secondary school. And we start to encourage them to really act with integrity. So not just making a good choice because it is a rule, but making a good choice because they know it's the right thing to do, even when no one is looking. We have one main theme per half term, and in a slide coming up I will show you the topics that I plan to do each half term. We normally have a cross-curricular approach to topic work, so the English work that we do will be based around the theme for the half term, and sometimes the science or the history and the geography and the computing will link into that as well, just to help the children make links between their learning, to really understand it. We continue with the Read, Write, Ink spelling programme in Year 5. It's really important that the children do practice and learn these rules, because if they cannot use these rules, then we cannot say that they are the expected standard for writing at the end of Year 5. So we continue to do a lot of daily spelling practice. We continue with our Pen Pals cursive handwriting programme. If your child did not obtain their pen licence last year, I would encourage them to do some practice with their joined up writing at home, and we will be practicing at school, but not as much as we did last year, probably once a week. However, in our writing work, they'll have more chances to practice that. But we want all children to have their pen licence by the end of Year 5. We have an exciting new maths scheme as well called Power Maths. And it's really based around having a growth mindset around maths, because we know some children and even adults, they get into this real fixed mindset of I can't do this, I'm not good at maths. So with these new characters, which are really child friendly, we encourage the children to learn from their mistakes, be curious with maths, try things in different ways and be flexible, and just see maths as a challenge rather than being good at it or not being good at it. So I'm really excited to start using that programme. It really encourages a mastery approach with maths, making sure they deeply understand the concepts and are not just able to do the calculations, but do they understand how the calculation works. We will be swimming as part of our PE curriculum. So they did this in Year 3 and they continue this in Year 5. We'll be starting that next Monday and that will continue until Christmas time. And we do a daily mile every day in the afternoon to encourage the children to keep up with their fitness and try and improve their time each day. So it's almost like they're in competition with themselves to improve every day. These are the topics that I'm planning to cover each half term. We try and make sure that they're exciting and engaging for the children. They are provisional, and some trips or visits might be subject to change depending on availability. So we've started this term with Vicious Vikings, linking to Copenhagen and Denmark. I'm hoping to borrow some artefacts from a museum. I did that last year for the Romans, and the children really got a lot out of that, actually handling objects from that era. In Autumn 2, I want to do a topic called Mission Impossible, linked to forces, and that should also link in nicely with our trip to Sayers Croft, where they'll be doing a lot of physical challenges and lots of problem solving there. In Spring 1, we'll do our space topic called Out of This World, and I'm hoping to book a planetarium to come in, which will really help the children understand the planets. In Spring 2, we do a topic called Earth Matters, which links to mountains and making sure that we live sustainably, which I think is a really important topic every year to cover. In Summer 1, I'm hoping to do a topic called Scream Machine, which is linked to theme parks, getting the children to think about materials, which materials would be best for each ride. We'll probably be revising forces there as well, obviously, with the way that the rides work, and hopefully also be making our own little theme park in design and technology as well. And during that half term we've got booked in a Science Sparks workshop where we look at different materials and how they can change. Children have lots of fun with that. They did that last year in Year 5. And finally in Summer 2 we conclude with the Tudors, called Off With Their Head, and hopefully a nice trip to Hampton Court Palace just down the road to learn about the Tudors. I'm really excited to try these topics. They're new to me as well, so I'll be learning about them with the children, which is always good. Our behaviour policy has changed slightly this year, so we no longer use the green, yellow and red faces because we felt they were just slightly too public. Instead, we have 3 school rules that the whole school know, which is ready, respectful and responsible. So we've really tried to simplify our rules this year so that everyone knows and understands them. We have an extra mile board in the classroom so that children that really go the extra mile, not just doing what I expect but pushing themselves further, can write on the daily mile board why they're on there, and that's a recognition board to show the behaviours that we want to see in school, and hopefully everyone will get a chance to go on there at some point throughout the year. If children are not showing that they're ready, respectful or responsible, they're given 2 warnings, and then on the 3rd warning they have some time in, so they miss 5 minutes of play to reflect on their behaviour with the teacher and think about what they could do better next time. We'll also be having a big focus on the zones of regulation scheme, which teaches children about self-control. So we have a display of that in the classroom. The blue zone is when you're maybe feeling a bit tired or a bit ill. Green zone, you're ready to learn. Amber zone or yellow zone, you're feeling slightly frustrated, slightly agitated. And then red zone, you've lost some control. You might be very angry or very over-elated or overjoyed. So when children are in a blue, yellow or red zone, we're always encouraging them to think about how they can get back to green zone, and we say to them it's their responsibility to help each other and to try and get themselves back into the green zone. It's really important that the children continue to read at home to help build up their fluency, their comprehension and especially their vocabulary of new words. So we use the colour-coded system as we have done in the past to feed back on reading. If the children read 5 times and comment in their reading records, they will get a green circle. If they read 4 or less, they will get a yellow circle, and if they read 0 times, then they will have a red circle. And I say to the children it's their responsibility to get out their books, to read them to themselves or to remind their parents that they would like to read to them. It's also really beneficial if parents could still read with the children at least once or twice a week and ask the children some questions. So I will send home some good examples of different types of questions that you could ask, and this just helps us to make sure that they still are understanding what they have read about the books. It's normally good if children read the books they take home from school and some of their own books, and they can comment on those in the reading record as well. If the children are commenting, please encourage them to think about something they liked or disliked, or maybe point out something that they've inferred from the text. So maybe they can see that a character feels a certain way because of how they've acted, rather than just writing read well, because this helps them to start thinking about the books in a bit more of a sophisticated way. As I mentioned earlier, there's going to be a real big focus on homework this year, ready for secondary school. So the children will be getting Ready Writer homework every fortnight, linked to the read writing spelling rule that we're doing in class. Now, the reason we set it every fortnight is because the way Ready Writer works, it includes lots of different activities about that rule. So what I've said to the children is that it's a good idea to do 10 or 15 minutes of Ready Writer every night, and that way the spelling rule they'll be a lot more confident with using that spelling rule, rather than doing it all on a Sunday night where they really won't learn actually how to use that spelling rule. So Ready Writer starts by looking at some words with that rule and what they mean, so again building up the vocabulary, Then it teaches them to spell them by doing look, cover, say, write, check. And then after that it's got some games to just help them to embed those words and those rules that they've learnt. So if you could please ask the children to do that a little bit every day rather than all in one chunk, that will be the best way to get them learning their spellings. We do mathletics homework every week. That's just one task linked to what we're doing in class. We still have our half-termly common exception words to learn, and we normally do that in the last week before half-term. And the new homework for Year 5 is that we also get an extra piece of English homework every fortnight. So this will be a sheet that we send home that will practice different skills that we're learning in class. So for example, this week I've sent home a dragon poem reading comprehension to get them thinking about how they can find out the answers to the questions from the text. Children who do not complete the homework attend a homework club with me at lunchtime on the day that it's due in, just so that they have a go with the activity and are not missing out on the extra learning opportunities. But please do encourage the children to be independent with that. I have made a little homework tracker for them where they can write down when the homework is set and when it's due, so you can ask to see that. That should be in their bag, and they can use that to hopefully be a bit more responsible and independent with their homework. I will try and let you know at parent evenings if the children are not completing their homework, just so that we can work together to see if there is a way that they could do their homework a bit more regularly. Just a note on the PE days. At the moment they're Monday and Wednesday, and we do swimming on a Monday, but I probably will change the Monday PE day to a different day once the swimming sessions have come to an end. But I will communicate with you through email or newsletter what day that will be. You may have also seen that I've sent home a show and tell timetable. So the children do bring in some lovely things, but I thought to give everyone an opportunity to speak about something that they brought in from home, we would do a timetable so that each week 6 children from the class have their turn to bring something in. And I would encourage you to see if the children could either make something about our topic, or think about a recent achievement that they might have gained, or something exciting that's happening in their life that they might want to talk about, and just to practice talking about this to you at home so they're ready to talk about it to the class. And this is really going to help their speaking and listening skills. So I would expect them to be talking about it for a couple of minutes and then answering questions at the end. So do prepare the children for their show and tell day so they're ready to tell the class in a clear and coherent manner. If you have any questions or you want to chat about your child, please don't hesitate to contact me through the staff at email, or you could always send a note in with your child as well, and I will make sure that I get back to you. One of the children said to me when they found out that I was going to be their teacher again that it's like we're family now. So I do really feel that I know the children so well, so it's so lovely to have them again, and we are going to have a great year because we know each other, and we can continue to really build on our bonds that we made in Year 4. So I'm really looking forward to the year, and thank you so much for the support last year. I know that you're going to be just as supportive this year, and you're a great bunch of parents to work with. So welcome back. It's going to be a great year.